In this video, I walk you through how I use the equipment and applications to plan and record the how-to video for Standard Notes Daily Journal setup. If you want to watch that video first, I've put the link in the video description down below. The setup and shooting for this particular video is complicated because I have to coordinate and synchronize the footage across the main video camera, the action camera, and screen recordings from 5 separate devices. I also explain how I store the raw footage so that editing becomes easier later. And I touch on a problem where the action camera overheated. I talk about file transfer speed limitations when using older camera hardware, such as my Samsung smartphone. And finally, I give a brief overview of what it's like using the LumaFusion editor when combining footage from 7 separate sources. Quick clip showing the lav mic receiver plugged into the Samsung S20 FE SmallRig arm, clamped on here, window handle adjusted so that this Samsung S20 phone is nice and level and pointing towards my seat here. iPad running the teleprompter app, moving the USB receiver onto the laptop for use with the OBS screen recorder. And I've set up this scene called desktop plus the lav mic. You can see down here I've disabled the mic auxiliary sound on the laptop itself. Move the USB receiver for the microphone. Just make sure we're still green on here, which we are. Let's enable the screen recorder on the Mac. Have my Dell Latitude 7490 laptop. Over here we have the Neewer tripod selfie stick. This is the Neewer TS04, and on the top of here we've got a camera mount, which is a screw thread on here. Got the Neewer RGB light as I've used previously. Down here got my little DJI Osmo Nano camera with the display and battery mounted on the little magnetic stand, and that's just used to show a little bit of B-roll. For the mobile phone installation, I'm going to use this lanyard, which is magnetic at the bottom, and then I'll attach to that the top part, just the camera part of the DJI Osmo Nano. So we'll put this underneath my jumper, like so, and then this camera just magnetizes there. So then when I'm using my phone, the camera will record me holding the phone like so. The setup and shooting of this particular video is a little bit complex, and the reason it's complex is I need to install this Standard Notes app on the Windows laptop, the iPhone, Samsung phone, and the Mac Mini computer. Takes a bit of coordination. I'm using the Obsidian tool to capture my shoot notes and script and shoot card and shot list, and that helps me make sure that I've captured everything that I need to capture, so that when I come to the edit all the footage is there ready for me. What I'm also doing is I'm making sure that as I shoot the footage, I'm moving it to the server shared folder, and I'm naming the footage as I go. You can see here I've got a folder called Standard Notes Daily Journal Free Multi-Device. This is on my server, and what I've done is, as I record the screen recordings, I name the files. Let me just drag that across. There you go. So as you can see there, I've named the file installing and signing standard notes on Windows laptop. By the time I finish shooting all the video, I'll have maybe half a dozen files. So keeping the names updated on each file is just going to save a little bit of time when it comes to edit. I'm going to remove the USB receiver from the laptop now, put it in the iPhone, and then make sure that is still green, which it is. And then for the screen recording on the iPhone, you actually long press on here, and then you get the option to turn the microphone on or off. So I just want to make sure that's working, so I'll do a quick voice test. Stop that, and let's just play it back to confirm. So I just want to make sure that's working, so I'll do a quick voice test. That's good. So we've got an interesting development here. I'm trying to do a screen recording. At the same time, I wanted to attach the Osmo Nano camera to my lanyard here, and then just grab some footage, B-roll of me working on the laptop screen. However, when I went to hit record on the camera, I had a message to say that the camera had overheated. And it's telling me now, device is overheated, recording stopped. So obviously what we're going to do now is we're going to stop recording and give that camera a little bit of chance to cool down, come back in 30 minutes and carry on. Okay, looks like our mini camera has cooled down, so we can carry on recording. So having a bit of a struggle today transferring files from the individual devices to the file server. Seems like the iPhone is fine, that's really quick. This Samsung S20 phone though is really quite slow. I suspect it's a 5-year-old phone, so the Wi-Fi connection is probably quite slow. And what I've been doing up until now is copying the files from the DJI Nano to the Samsung phone. There's an app on there which does it kind of automatically, which is really quick, by the way. But then I'm thinking that when I transfer those files from the Samsung S20 phone to the server, it's going to take forever. So what I'm going to try and do, I've got this plugged in via this USB cable to my Windows laptop. I'm going to try and see if I can do a file transfer directly to the server. I'm looking at the files on the DJI Osmo Nano camera. Looks like there's some .lrf metadata files linked to each actual video files. I'm not sure what that is. To be safe, I'll use the method I've been using so far, and I'll transfer the files to the Samsung S20 phone using the app, and I'll do the network transfer file from the Samsung S20 to the file server. It'll take a bit longer, but I know that works. I don't want to mess up these files. I thought I'd just give you a very quick taste of what it's like using LumaFusion to edit this video. I've got something like 4 or 5 separate tracks and one audio track. LumaFusion app keeps crashing. Randomly the sound stops working, and every now and again everything freezes, so I have to close down the app and restart it. I'll show you what I'm doing. Editing this video, if you look over here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate video tracks. I've got the screen recording, which is this one here. When I'm doing the screen recording, the microphone receiver is plugged into the iPhone. So I need to use the audio from this top track. As I go through editing, whichever audio I want to use, I need to extract that down to this audio track along the bottom here. So for example, on this one here, we've got the USB receiver plugged into the laptop. So what I need to do is to extract the audio, and you do that by just clicking this button here, and the audio drops down below. I've muted all of the tracks. Probably maybe able to see here. I've muted all of the tracks except for the main audio track down the bottom here. So the only sound we'll get is what's on this track. Just thought I'd let you know the sort of pain that I'm having with LumaFusion. Maybe I should move on to using LumaFusion on the Mac Mini. I've said it before in a previous video. This is making me want to move towards DaVinci's Resolve from Blackmagic. Start to learn to use that. The reason I haven't done it is I know the LumaFusion tool really well. I've been using it for many years. The workflow, even though it's painful and it's a bit buggy or crashy, the workflow is still really quick for me because I know how to use that tool. That's it for this making of video. I'll add the list of equipment and applications I used in the video description, so go and check that out. If you found this video useful, please click that like button. And if you want, leave a comment down below. All that's left for me to say now is thank you for visiting my channel, and please come back if you want to see more content like this. Have fun, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.